What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And welcome to a new week. I've got the Bitcoin price chart pulled up in front of us. We'll talk about the altcoin market and we'll talk about the stock market and what's going on as we start out this new week. Last week, the Dow Jones gave us a big, fat, bullish, engulfing green candle, taking out the prior 4 weeks. And that's something that we were looking for to happen over there in the stock market. So that was a sight for sore eyes after spending several weeks down here teetering near that 32,000 price level for the Dow Jones. I've spent an awful amount of time talking about this and how it's had waves of near equal length happening in here with an ABC correction and looking for us to pop out of there and for us to hold that 32,000 level. Optimistic to see that the prices did pop right on out of there. That's good for crypto. I've discussed that a lot, how, crypto tends to follow the stock market. So great move for the Dow after getting through the Federal Reserve interest rate hike announcement. I talked about this last week too, that in this type of structure, typically you'll see things get up to right there around 35,000 is kind of the area for a big pop out to happen in here for the Dow. And as we can see, it's already almost there. So if this thing behaves like, normal behavior, likely still a little bit of a push up, a little bit higher, but then this thing is going to cool off for a little while. But that's when we can start getting ready to look for a real uptrend to start to emerge in the Dow Jones and for crypto to go on a big run with it. But I would expect that there's going to be a pullback. The thing about these things is that, sometimes it catches people by surprise, right? If you go back to mid last week, everybody was really scared because of the narrative and the Federal Reserve interest rate hike. Then it only took 4 trading days to get from all the way down here, all the way up here. And then suddenly it cools off all over again, right? So the sentiment is not going to have enough time to really kind of reset itself. Will probably stay in the same sentiment that we've been in for a while if it plays out like this. But just know that this is normal, this is good, and this is what we were looking for. Of course, I focus on that for my bigger macro perspective of the markets to say, hey, are we still showing bullish signs happening throughout all markets, right? And so long as that's how we're playing out, everything looks good for me over there with the Dow Jones, as long as that 32,000 price level is holding. Bitcoin, of course, still just ranging in here, not showing any signs of anything. And it makes sense, right? We've talked about the long and grueling retrace that happens in here. That's just kind of a ranging one. And, if we go back to how these things typically play out in regards to these, is that a lot of times it could just be like a complete straight line that comes out of there out of nowhere and shoots straight up to a retracement level. And just like we're seeing over there with the Dow, how it got up there very quickly, right? It only took 4 trading days for it to get back there, but then it goes off into a cooling off period after that. But it's kind of just like waiting for that moment to just kind of show up out of nowhere is my thought process here with Bitcoin. One thing that we noticed throughout the weekend is that there was actually quite a bit of green price action throughout the crypto market. We saw some of the privacy coins moving, and we saw Ethereum Classic get a pretty decent sized move coming out of there. And it actually rose so fast that in a matter of 2 days, it wiped out 3 months of negative price action. And that is just common for what we see in crypto. It can torture for 3 months and then in 2 days take it all back. And we saw the same thing happen over here for Dash. Took back 2 months of negative price action in a matter of 3 days. The total altcoin market cap, excluding Bitcoin and excluding Ethereum, continues to hold that 702 Fibonacci retracement level, looking for a pop to come out of here to get some more juice behind it. We talked about this last week too, that it's still just residing with an upward parallel channel and it's holding its weekly supports in here. After having an ABC correction, now just kind of in its bottoming reversal style structure. So I'm positive on this. It's just taking time. But as we can see, for 10 weeks now, still able to hold above this price level, just rounding ourselves out to get a move back to the upside. But as usual, we're just kind of waiting on Bitcoin to make a move. And if you caught the video that I did on Friday with TXMC from Alpha Beta Soup, we went through several things with the on-chain data and with the perpetual futures basis and with all those things that we don't see here on the price chart, but just kind of hidden data that we have access to, all those things pointed to Bitcoin popping to the upside. And while there's definite worry that Bitcoin's actually going to break down to 25,000 rather than heading back into a retrace, the on-chain data, the perpetual futures basis data doesn't point to that. It points to a retrace coming in. And we're kind of just at a standstill waiting for that to happen, with Bitcoin now being in this range in here for 75 days. So patience is getting tested, but that's also why we look at all that other data as well, right? When you move down this long and then you stay down here this long, it's only natural for sentiment to shift pretty negative. But it was great to see the Dow Jones pop out like we were looking for with a standard structure. It still points to this just being an ABC correction in here. Some more consolidation to come before an uptrend resumes. But that's what we're looking for. That's what we want. And I've shown these inverse price charts all the time. I've got them flipped up the other way right now, but you guys are used to seeing me show these inverse price charts like this. But to make it more appealing on the eyes and easy to process, the idea is that, we're in here. We're somewhere in here. We know these things are just kind of long and grueling playing out ABCs. But my best guess is that, alt season is going to be taking place during this time period as it's heading back into retracements like we've seen before and like we saw back in 2018. And it's kind of just waiting for that moment to get in here and for that initial pop to come out of here and to start setting this thing going so we can have alt season take place in there. And it's really just a waiting game, right? And we're at 75 days down in here, so impossible to be like, yep, it's going to happen within the next 3 days. Seems more likely that there's probably still some consolidation to happen in here if we're looking at what the Dow does, right? And a lot of people don't agree with this, that the Dow is so correlated to what happens to crypto, but I do believe it is. But it really is just kind of waiting for the action to show up. And I think it's going to happen quickly when it does. Even looking over here at the XRP price chart, we'll head back down here to the MACD. You can see we have MACD crosses. We've got green finally showing up after being in the red since November. So 4 months of being in the red, we finally got a cross and we've got some green emerging here for XRP on the weekly time frame. So things are looking good. I know I sound pretty calm right now, but it was good to see that happen over there in the stock market. It's good to see some price action happen on various altcoins throughout the weekend. And we're getting crosses happening on a lot of these altcoins. So good to see the altcoin market continue to hold down in here too. All these things are just positive. They're just obviously moving slow right now. And that's just kind of how things go. It goes slow until it starts moving really fast. But this week, it'll just kind of be that waiting game to see if we can get our pop out. The fact that we got it from the Dow was super optimistic. And now we're just kind of waiting on our turn over here in the crypto market. But as we start out this week, I am going to keep this video relatively short. I actually was in bed all day yesterday. Unfortunately, we got food poisoning in our house over the weekend. I did eat breakfast today, but I had gone 24 hours without eating, so I'm still just trying to recover. But otherwise, this will probably be a 3-video week. I'm going to do my best to finish my taxes this week. And so long as the market is still just sitting here and there's not big breakouts happening, if we get the breakouts start to emerge, that could probably change. But otherwise, we'll probably just plan on it being a 3-video week. And hopefully I can get back to 100% by tomorrow. Otherwise, there was a lot of positive reception to the video we did on Friday with TXMC, where I'd never done an interview before, right? So it was really weird to have to try to guide the conversation. I have a whole lot more respect for the people who do interviews. There is an art form to it. You can't just turn it on and just hope it all just kind of plays out. There's an art form to interviews and guiding interviews and making them go efficiently. So props to all the people out there who do interviews. It's not easy to do. If you missed that video, I highly recommend checking it out to get an understanding of the things we're talking about on chain and the positive signs we see in there from the accounts that are holding at least one Bitcoin, the exchange in and outflows, and the perpetual futures basis, and how all those things are optimistic to point to a pop to the upside coming in Bitcoin rather than some big massive breakdown. But otherwise, a great ending to last week with the stock market, a nice weekend for the crypto market with several altcoins popping up. Now we're just waiting for the continuation of that to take place during this week. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Happy new week. Good start to the week. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for something to do throughout the day, of course, you could check out my website over here, which is bcbacker.com. This is a course I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the previous altcoin market cycles, and tying them all together to show how the cryptocurrency market has worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans in here, and I teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro so you can do your own charting. The most recent market update is in there on February 28th, and you can check out all of this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And again, sorry for kind of the monotone video. I'm just trying to kind of recover from my weekend, man. You know those times when you get sick and you have those fever nightmare things where you're laying in bed and you're trying to rest, but you're in dreams and stuff and it's messing with you and you can't shake the dreams and you just keep going in and out of them and they just mess with your sleep terribly. I've had that for the last 2 nights. So hopefully I get an awesome night of sleep tonight. and we're back at it. But otherwise, I wanted to check in with you guys. It's the start of a new week. It was a great ending to last week, and hey, things are looking good. But all right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.